Hello everybody, this is Brooke aka Supernatural Summer 34 and today we are back at it with another speed build. Today's speed build is actually the part 2 to my townhouses, and in this part I'll be decorating the interior of the first apartment. Now I know in my last speed build, part 1 of the townhouses, I mentioned that you might see fewer videos, and I'll explain exactly why that was and why that may no longer be the case. So the 7th of March, my sister went roller skating with a friend of hers at a rink that is open. They wore masks, they social distanced, they tried their best to prevent them from getting the virus. However, that Saturday, my sister discovered that she had the virus after exhibiting symptoms and getting tested. Now, I had a friend over that weekend, and the night before my sister found out, we had spent all night together talking. So it was a pretty high chance that we would get the virus. Now, my friend, Stripes Hater, has a mother, and her mother has several autoimmune diseases, so we decided it would be best for Stripes Hater to stay at my house for the duration of the quarantine. Now, I knew this meant that I wouldn't be super great about videos during her stay, and I also knew that I wouldn't be able to stream with her here because I'd be spending time with her. However, after I, a person who is both out of shape and also has asthma, coughed 2 times in one day, they thought I might have the virus. So I've been in my room since yesterday afternoon, which was the 15th. So I streamed yesterday and recorded an episode of Not So Berry, despite having said that probably wouldn't happen in the last video. But it turns out it wasn't the virus. Not really a shocker, so now I'm out of quarantine. However, my friend is looking to go home soon, so she elected to spend the rest of her stay in the basement so that the chances of her getting it are lower than they would be if she continued to be on ground level, which is close to my sister, who is the one who actually has the virus. So yeah, sister has the virus, I don't, friend doesn't. However, friend doesn't want to risk getting it, so she won't be spending time with the rest of the household, so I will have time to make videos. That was an unnecessarily long-winded explanation, but yeah, it turns out I do have time to make videos. But we're actually almost done with the first story, which is a little bit more cramped than I had anticipated. I spent a while trying to figure out the layout of the living room, sorry, but eventually I have the 2 sofas sit opposite each other. I'm like 95% sure that they can reach the stairs with the sofa situated like that. However, on the off chance it doesn't work, I'll have to redecorate the entire first story, but I'm really rather certain that it does work, so I'm not too worried. But I knew I wanted to have some fireplaces in this build because I included the fireplaces in the back, and I think this living room is really cute, which is why I decided to use the screenshot of it for the thumbnail. I went for a navy color scheme with this apartment because I wanted it to be dark, but I also wanted some blues because the paneling on the outside of the apartment is blue. As I said in the first part, one of these apartments will be for my Rose Gen, but it is not this apartment, if you hadn't gathered that yet. I'm sure that at this point I plan on having my air in one of the middle apartments, which are a lot more spacious despite the smaller yards. This apartment is for 2 roommates and their dog, if you don't recall me saying this in the last part. And if you don't recall me saying this in the last part, I need people to make spouses for my Rose Gen sim. I'm going to be making them over if I do see that any are made, and remember that there are 2 things you have to do. Their name must begin with a Y, and you have to put them under the hashtag SPNSims so that it's easier for me to find them. Now, I kind of have an idea for the Sims I want living in this apartment, so feel free to model your Sims after that, but just know that giving them a different personality will not keep me from putting them in my save. I probably just won't have them live in this apartment complex. The first bedroom has 2 main activities to base the personality of the Sim off of. I placed down 2 items on the balcony that I thought the Sim who used this bedroom would use. One of them is a guitar and the other is a soccer ball, so they may be athletic as well as a musician. Which one you decide to lean into more is up to you, but I thought that was an interesting combination because you rarely see athletic musicians. At least, I've never really seen any. Most of the musicians I've seen are very wiry and thin, or else they have a slight bit of muscle from a normal amount of exercise. I've also seen a few who are bigger, but I imagine I haven't seen as many bigger people because the industry is pretty biased against them. But you never really see any jacked musicians. Or you could lean more into the athletic side of things, and they could be a sports enthused person who has a soft spot for music, which is also something I don't really see a lot. I feel like it'd be really cute to see a sports player or whatever who likes to listen to really soft, romantic music. I think that'd just about be the cutest thing ever. But here we get started on their bedroom, and I pretty quickly decided on this base game bed. It's a very plain and simple bed, but it's probably one of my favorites. It has a lot of good wood tones, as well as a lot of good comforter swatches. There were a few other things I thought the person who slept in this room might like. I put up a movie poster because maybe that's their favorite movie. The movie poster is the one with the doctor on it. I think it might be a ripoff of Grey's Anatomy, but I wouldn't know because I've never seen Grey's Anatomy. I also placed down a little arts and crafts book from Nifty Knitting, and I considered putting a knitting basket, but I just find knitting to be a really annoying hobby that I don't really have my Sims exploring that often. Like, there are 4 hobbies off the top of my head that are really hard to grind. The first one I thought of was knitting, and that's because there's no practice knitting option. You always have to be making something. Same with painting. The other one is woodworking, which isn't a skill on its own, but it's definitely is a hobby that I've seen a lot of people explore. It's similar to knitting and painting where there is no practice woodworking option. The third one is photography. I'm actually struggling with that one right now in my Not So Berry Challenge because Ryden needs it to get promoted, but I don't really like the photography skill just because it demands your attention so much. You can't observe your Sims like the god you are when you have to take pictures for them to get their skill up. And the last one is gardening, which I actually really like, but it's hard to max that skill because you'd have to have so many freaking plants to actually get it up. Like Marilyn has a little garden in the Not So Berry Challenge, and she's on like level 3 of that skill. But the person in the second bedroom actually has 2 of the hobbies I just mentioned. They like to garden, and they also enjoy photography. I have a small garden in the back of this build, like really small. I think I placed down 4 of the 1 square planter boxes, but there is a little bit more space available if you really want to cram the backyard with them. But here we're decorating the bathroom, which I actually really like. It's really big, and those are the best bathrooms. I mean, little bathrooms are better for smaller houses and saving space, obviously, but I think if you really want a bathroom to look pretty and good and nice, then it has to be pretty big. I was contemplating turning this bathroom into a kid's bedroom, but I figured that a 1-bathroom house with 3 bedrooms wouldn't really work super well, so I went for a 2-bath, 2-bedroom. But I was also thinking that it might be a little unfair that the top bedroom has such a big bathroom, but then I thought it evened out because the bottom bedroom has the balcony. But then we move on to the top bedroom, which again, I went for the blue theme, though it isn't navy blue. I don't really know how to describe that shade of blue, but it's probably my favorite shade of blue. But I thought that the person in this bedroom was pretty feminine, though obviously you could make them whatever gender you prefer. I think it'd be a pretty cool idea for the heir to have a gender non-conforming boyfriend, though. But I also really like the idea of a feminine woman. But I figured that the dog in this house belongs to the person living in this bedroom because I put a dog bed down. I don't often do that, but I was looking for stuff to take up space in this bedroom because I didn't really know what to place down. Also, if you didn't notice, I used a lot of brick accent walls in this build because I wanted the build to look somewhat industrial, just like I tried to do with the outside. I don't know how much I succeeded, whether on the outside or inside, but I did use a lot of those walls. I also thought this person was a little bit messy, and I used this pile of dirty laundry that I haven't used in a very long time. If this was my bedroom, I'd have about 1 billion piles of those, though I suppose that's not true right now. I've been making an effort to keep my room clean by hanging up my laundry, which is something I've struggled with for a while. Sometimes it gets bad enough where I don't have any clean clothes left that aren't the ones on my back, but I guess that's depression for you. It doesn't help that I have to do laundry a lot more often now because I got rid of a lot of my clothes. I've been trying to stray away from my old style, which I'm positive I've mentioned before, but that resulted in me getting rid of all of my pieces of clothing that didn't make me feel good about myself, so I got rid of about half of my wardrobe back at the beginning of the year. I've been slowly building it back up, but it's taking a while. I actually have a little bit of a funny story, and it happened while I was shopping for new clothes at Goodwill. I get most of my clothes from there just because it's really cheap and it has a pretty wide selection of styles. It's been horrible shopping after the pandemic came about, though, because they haven't opened changing rooms. Anyway, I was looking through the dresses because I know I need more dresses for the summer, and I came across one of my own dresses in the store. It was really funny to me, but it's not the first time that's happened, because when I get rid of old clothes, they do tend to go to Goodwill, but I just found it really funny that I came across it. I'm looking to go shopping for new clothes after we're done quarantining, though, because I still need new shorts, jeans, leggings, shoes, and probably some cardigans. I really only have one of those left, but I'd like to have at least 3. I want a thick one, a thin long-sleeved one, and a thin half-sleeved one. I'm really insecure about my arms, so I don't tend to wear tank tops without a cardigan over it, so having a good selection is pretty crucial. The frustrating thing is that I already got jeans this year, but first of all, I'm looking to try out mom jeans, and second of all, the jeans I got don't fit because I wasn't able to try them on before buying them. I'll probably get them from Meijer, which I suppose y'all might not know what that is because Meijer is really only a Midwestern thing with the addition of Kentucky, I'll concede, though I had to look that up. But I'll probably get them from Meijer. In fact, I'll probably get everything from Meijer just because I actually like a lot of their clothes. A lot of them give me very boho vibes, which I think is very cute. It's just an issue of finding the right size. But we are coming up on the end of the video. Don't forget to like, subscribe, comment down below, and I will see you all soon.